October 12, 2023. Blackthorn Villa, an isolated 18-acre estate located 30 kilometers outside Rahim Yar Khan in southern Punjab. At 2:47 a.m. the estate's main security system recorded its first anomaly. The footage begins with a static wide-angle view of the grand marble foyer. All lights are off except for the faint blue glow of the security panel. For 43 seconds nothing moves. Then, at exactly 2 hours 47 minutes and 12 seconds, the heavy oak front door slowly swings inward on its own. No wind. No visible hand. The motion sensor triggers but the alarm stays silent. Blackthorn Villa was completed in 2018 for billionaire industrialist Khalid Rahman and his family. The 12,000-square-foot mansion sits alone on a private hill, surrounded by dense acacia trees and high boundary walls topped with razor wire and infrared cameras. The property has no close neighbors. The nearest village is 6 kilometers away. Khalid Rahman, 58, lived there with his wife Aisha and their 24-year-old daughter Zara. A full-time staff of 4, head housekeeper Fatima, cook Rashid, gardener Imran, and night security guard Marcus Hale, were the only other people allowed on the grounds after sunset. Marcus, a former army man in his early 40s, was responsible for monitoring the 28-camera security network every night from the control room in the basement. The family had moved in just 11 months earlier. Everything appeared normal until the night of October 12th. At 2:47 a.m., the front door opens by itself. 17 seconds later, the foyer chandelier flickers once, then twice. The camera in the east hallway activates as a dark silhouette appears at the far end, a tall figure wearing what looks like a long dark coat. The figure stands completely still for 9 seconds before walking slowly toward the grand staircase. Marcus Hale, on duty in the basement control room, notices the movement on his monitor. He grabs his industrial flashlight and tablet and heads upstairs to investigate. The time stamp on the footage shows him entering the foyer at 2 hours 49 minutes and 8 seconds. What he finds is the front door now closed and locked from the inside. The motion sensors show no entry. Yet the hallway camera clearly recorded the figure walking up the stairs. Marcus checks every room on the ground floor. Nothing is disturbed. No footprints. No broken windows. He radios the day staff but receives no answer, they had already left for the night. At 3:12 a.m., the upstairs hallway camera captures the same dark-coated figure standing motionless outside Zara Rahman's bedroom door. Marcus climbs the stairs. The moment his flashlight beam hits the corridor, the figure is gone. This was only the beginning. Marcus Hale stood frozen in the upstairs hallway of Blackthorn Villa at 3:14 a.m. on October 12, 2023. His industrial flashlight cut through the darkness, but the tall figure in the long dark coat had vanished. He immediately checked Zara Rahman's bedroom door. It was still locked from the inside. He knocked quietly. No response. Through the door he could hear Zara's steady breathing, she was asleep. He returned to the basement control room and began reviewing the footage frame by frame. The system had recorded 28 cameras, but only 4 had triggered movement that night: the foyer, east hallway, grand staircase, and the second-floor corridor outside Zara's room. Every other camera remained completely still. Marcus noticed something disturbing in the technical data. The front door's magnetic lock had never disengaged. The system log showed the door was physically closed and secured the entire time, yet the video clearly showed it swinging open. The timestamp on the video and the system log did not match by 0.8 seconds, a tiny discrepancy, but enough to raise questions. At 4:27 a.m., the cameras captured a second event. In the kitchen, one of the large stainless steel refrigerators opened slowly. A single glass of water that had been left on the marble island slid across the counter by itself and stopped at the edge. The motion was smooth, deliberate, not like something being bumped. No one was in the kitchen. Marcus woke the head housekeeper Fatima by phone. She arrived at the villa at 5:50 a.m. and confirmed that the glass had not been moved by any staff the previous evening. She also noticed that several cabinet doors in the pantry were slightly ajar, something that never happened because she always checked them before leaving. Evidence analysis and technical discoveries, 12 to 17:30, by morning, Marcus had compiled a detailed report. He exported the raw footage and sent it to the villa's private security company in Lahore. The technicians ran diagnostics on the entire system. All 28 cameras were functioning normally. No malware. No remote access logs. The firmware was up to date. The only anomaly the technicians could find was in the timestamp synchronization. 3 different cameras had recorded microdelays between video and system metadata, delays that should not exist in a high-end synchronized security network. Khalid Rahman was informed when he returned from a business trip that afternoon. He watched the footage in silence. He ordered the entire system to be upgraded with additional infrared sensors and asked Marcus to increase night patrols. He also instructed the staff not to discuss the events with anyone outside the property. Over the next 9 nights, the activity escalated. On October 15 at 1:58 a.m., the library camera recorded books falling from the top shelf one by one. Not all at once, each book dropped after a pause of 6 to 8 seconds, as if someone was deliberately pulling them down and letting them fall. On October 17 at 3:41 a.m., the master bedroom camera, which Khalid had recently installed, showed the curtains moving although all windows were closed and the AC was off. A shadow appeared on the wall for exactly 4 seconds before disappearing. On October 19 at 2:33 a.m., the most disturbing footage yet, the figure in the long dark coat reappeared. This time it was standing at the end of the second-floor hallway, facing Zara's door. Marcus, who was now doing hourly patrols, rounded the corner with his flashlight and saw nothing. But the camera had recorded the figure for 12 full seconds. When Marcus reviewed the footage later, he noticed the figure's head was slightly tilted, as if listening. Escalating strange events, 17:30 to 22:30, by October 21, the staff began refusing to stay late. The cook Rashid reported hearing footsteps in the empty dining hall every evening after sunset. Gardener Imran found fresh footprints in the soft soil near the boundary wall, footprints that started in the middle of the garden and ended at the wall, with no entry point. Marcus installed 2 extra portable cameras in the basement control room itself. On the night of October 22, one of those cameras captured something new. At 3:07 a.m., while Marcus was upstairs on patrol, the control room camera showed a hand, a pale, long-fingered hand, briefly touching the main monitor from behind the chair. Marcus was not in the room at the time. The hand appeared for less than 2 seconds before retracting into the darkness. That same night, at 4:19 a.m., every single camera in the villa lost signal for exactly 47 seconds. When the feed returned, the front door was once again standing wide open. This time the magnetic lock showed it had been properly engaged the entire time. Khalid Rahman finally called in a professional paranormal investigation team from Karachi, but they were scheduled to arrive only after 3 more days. The events were no longer random. They were becoming focused, always centered around the second floor, always near Zara's room, and always between 1:50 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. Marcus Hale, the only person staying on the property overnight, began keeping a personal log. His final entry on October 23 read, "Whatever is here knows the layout of the house better than I do. It knows when I'm watching and when I'm not. I no longer feel alone when I walk these hallways." The night of October 24, 2023 would become the most documented and disturbing night in Blackthorn Villa's short history. At precisely 1:51 a.m., every camera in the villa simultaneously activated. Marcus Hale was in the basement control room when all 28 monitors lit up with movement alerts. He watched in real time as the tall figure in the long dark coat appeared again, this time not in the hallway, but standing directly inside Zara Rahman's bedroom. The bedroom camera, which had been installed only 2 weeks earlier at Khalid Rahman's insistence, showed the figure standing at the foot of Zara's bed. Zara was asleep, facing away from the camera. The figure remained completely motionless for 38 seconds, its head slightly tilted downward as if watching her breathe. Marcus grabbed his industrial flashlight and tablet and sprinted upstairs. His heavy footsteps echoed through the marble corridors. He reached the second floor at 1:52 and 47 seconds a.m. The moment he turned the corner into the hallway, the bedroom camera feed showed the figure turning its head toward the door, as if it knew Marcus was coming. Marcus burst into Zara's room with his flashlight raised. Zara woke up screaming. The figure was gone. The bedroom window was still locked. The door had been closed the entire time. There were no signs of forced entry, yet the camera had recorded the intruder clearly for over a minute. Zara, visibly shaken, told Marcus she had been having the same recurring dream for the past 10 nights, a tall man in a dark coat standing at the foot of her bed, whispering something she could never quite hear. Major discovery and technical breakthrough, 32:00 to 38:00, at 3:19 a.m. that same night, Marcus made a critical technical discovery while reviewing the raw footage in the control room. He noticed that during every single incident, one particular camera, the unused service corridor camera near the basement boiler room, had been recording faint audio even when no movement was detected on video. He isolated the audio track and enhanced it using basic forensic software on his tablet. What he heard sent a chill through him. A low, raspy male voice, speaking in Urdu with a heavy regional Punjabi accent, repeated the same phrase over and over, Gar wapas aa gaya hoon, ab koi nahi nikal sakta. I have come back home, now no one can take me out. The voice was not Marcus's. It was not any of the staff's. Khalid Rahman later confirmed he did not recognize the voice either. Marcus cross-referenced the timestamps. The voice appeared exactly 11 seconds before every major visual anomaly, the opening door, the moving glass, the falling books, and the figure in Zara's room. It was as if the voice was triggering the events. Further analysis revealed something even more disturbing. The security system's timestamp discrepancies were not random. They always occurred in the exact same 0.8-second window, the precise duration it took for the magnetic door lock to register as engaged, while the video showed it physically opening. This suggested the system itself was being manipulated at a hardware level that the Lahore technicians had missed. Climax and the final night, 38:00 to 45:00, on October 25, Khalid Rahman finally cancelled all his meetings and stayed at the villa with his family. The professional investigation team from Karachi was due to arrive the next morning. At 2:44 a.m., the entire villa went into complete lockdown mode. All exterior doors and windows showed "secured" on the panel. Marcus was ordered to stay in the control room and not patrol. At 2:57 a.m., the grand foyer camera captured the front door swinging open once again, slower this time, almost ceremonially. The tall figure stepped into the foyer, but this time it did not hide. It walked deliberately toward the grand staircase, its long coat dragging slightly on the marble floor. For the first time, the figure's face was partially visible under the faint emergency lighting, a gaunt, middle-aged man with sunken eyes and a short beard. He looked like he belonged to the local area, perhaps a former laborer or servant. Marcus watched on the monitor as the figure ascended the stairs and stopped directly outside Zara's door again. Then something new happened. At 3:03 a.m., the control room camera, the one Marcus had installed himself, captured a second figure. This one was standing directly behind Marcus's chair. It was the same man, wearing the same coat. While Marcus was focused on the upstairs feed, the second figure leaned forward and whispered something directly into the microphone. The enhanced audio later revealed the words, "Ab Mary Bari Hai. Now it's my turn." Marcus spun around. The control room was empty. At 3:11 a.m., all cameras lost power for 63 seconds, the longest blackout yet. When the system rebooted, the front door was wide open, all interior lights were on, and Zara Rahman was standing in the foyer in her nightclothes, staring blankly at the open door. She had no memory of leaving her room. Unresolved mystery ending, 45:00 to 48:00, the investigation team arrived the next morning. They reviewed every piece of footage, ran full spectrum scans, and interviewed all staff and family members. No logical explanation was found for the door mechanisms, the timestamp anomalies, the voice recordings, or the clear visual evidence of the intruder who appeared to know the house intimately. Khalid Rahman sold Blackthorn Villa 3 months later at a significant loss. The new owners reportedly experienced similar disturbances within the first week and abandoned the property after only 4 months. To this day, Blackthorn Villa stands empty on its isolated hill outside Rahim Yar Khan. The security system remains active, maintained by a remote monitoring company. Occasionally, late-night operators still report brief movement alerts on the second-floor hallway camera, always between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. The identity of the man in the dark coat was never confirmed. Was he a former worker who died on the property during construction? A disgruntled local with a grudge against the Rahman family? Or something that had attached itself to the land long before the villa was even built? Over the next 9 nights, the activity escalated. On October 15 at 1:58 a.m., the library camera recorded books falling from the top shelf one by one. Not all at once, each book dropped after a pause of 6 to 8 seconds, as if someone was deliberately pulling them down and letting them fall. On October 17 at 3:41 a.m., the master bedroom camera, which Khalid had recently installed, showed the curtains moving although all windows were closed and the AC was off. A shadow appeared on the wall for exactly 4 seconds before disappearing. On October 19 at 2:33 a.m., the most disturbing footage yet, the figure in the long dark coat reappeared. This time it was standing at the end of the second-floor hallway, facing Zara's door. Marcus, who was now doing hourly patrols, rounded the corner with his flashlight and saw nothing. But the camera had recorded the figure for 12 full seconds. When Marcus reviewed the footage later, he noticed the figure's head was slightly tilted, as if listening. Escalating strange events, 17:30 to 22:30, by October 21, the staff began refusing to stay late. The cook Rashid reported hearing footsteps in the empty dining hall every evening after sunset. Gardener Imran found fresh footprints in the soft soil near the boundary wall, footprints that started in the middle of the garden and ended at the wall, with no entry point. Marcus installed 2 extra portable cameras in the basement control room itself. On the night of October 22, one of those cameras captured something new. At 3:07 a.m., while Marcus was upstairs on patrol, the control room camera showed a hand, a pale, long-fingered hand, briefly touching the main monitor from behind the chair. Marcus was not in the room at the time. The hand appeared for less than 2 seconds before retracting into the darkness. That same night, at 4:19 a.m., every single camera in the villa lost signal for exactly 47 seconds. When the feed returned, the front door was once again standing wide open. This time the magnetic lock showed it had been properly engaged the entire time. Khalid Rahman finally called in a professional. Dark coat appeared again, this time not in the hallway, but standing directly inside Zara Rahman's bedroom. The bedroom camera, which had been installed only 2 weeks earlier at Khalid Rahman's insistence, showed the figure standing at the foot of Zara's bed. Zara was asleep, facing away from the camera. The figure remained completely motionless for 38 seconds, its head slightly tilted downward as if watching her breathe. Marcus grabbed his industrial flashlight and tablet and sprinted upstairs. The Blackthorn Villa tapes remain one of the most compelling and technically disturbing collections of security footage ever recorded in Pakistan, a case where the cameras captured what no one could explain, and what no one has been able to stop. The villa is still waiting. And according to the last logged entry in the system, the front door opened by itself again on March 17, 2025, at 2:47 a.m.